What is up guys, it's Cal, and in this video I'll be showing the Stratholme Pet Battle Dungeon that will be coming in patch 8.2. This is the 4th pet battle dungeon that will be released, and the only requirement to do it is you have to have one level 25 pet. You don't have to complete the previous pet battle dungeons if you haven't yet. Now I want to start off saying that this isn't a guide on how to do the challenge mode of this pet battle dungeon. All these have normal modes and challenge modes. The normal mode allows you to revive your pets at any time, and the challenge mode, you can't revive pets. So you'll need a lot more level 25 pets for that. So this is just an overview of what it looks like, then we'll go over the rewards at the end. So for Alliance, you'll come to Tizzy, Gearjolt, and Borealis, which is in this location. And then for Horde, you'll go to Fuse, Lock, and Desart Allure to start the pet battle dungeon off. You'll then be told to go meet with Sean Wilkers outside the entrance of Stratholme in Eastern Plaguelands. Now once you reach him, he'll tell you to defeat Blackmane, who is of course the last boss pet in the dungeon, and finishing this will grant you a port to Stratholme, which is convenient, and a level 25 pet battle stone. Now the team I ended up using most of the time is Icky, Zandalari Anklerender, and Zandalari Kneebiter. On the PTR I only had a handful of level 25 pets. On live I have hundreds, but yeah, on the PTR I had like 10. I'd highly recommend getting these pets that I'm using because they're very good. Well, they're very good at facing against boss pets at least. I did use other pets, which you'll see, but it mainly was these three. So once you get inside, Sean Wilkers says some things to you about cleaning up the already clean and pleasant looking Stratholme, and then he proceeds to Bubble Hearth, of course. So your first foe here is Belchling. He, along with the two back pets, are blue quality, but it's a relatively easy fight. I always start off with Black Claw with Icky, and then go into Flock, which destroys them. That's also the nice thing about facing magic pets with this team like this, is because you can't whip magic teams with giant blasts or anything because of their special ability. They can't take more than 35% of their health from a single attack, but Flock counts as multiple attacks. So even though it takes half his health in one turn, it doesn't trigger his magic ability since it's multiple attacks. So take out the Rotting Scavenger, which is undead, and then Gargi, which is also undead. There's going to be a lot of undead pets in here. That should be pretty obvious since it is Stratholme after all. Now after you face off against those three, you face the first boss pet, Sludge Belcher. So with him, he just takes 50% less damage since he's boss, as opposed to some of the other boss pets in here which usually have another special attribute to them. But I pretty much do the same thing. Hit him with Black Claw, and then he uses an ability to bring another one of my pets out. Not a big deal since I'll just wreck him with Hunting Party. He mainly has AoE abilities going from. Now after that, you'll head down this way into Stratholme towards this ghost which runs from you. You chase him until you're able to face him. And he also has two blue back pets, both of which are magic while he is undead. Take them out with whatever means you see fit. This place hasn't been too difficult yet, but just you wait. There's one fight in here that did stun me, so after that thing's dead, you fight this Crypt Stalker right behind him, which has two blue back pets as well. A Lost Soul, and a tiny KT looking dude. When you take them out, your next boss comes out, which is Liz the Tormentor. So she does take 50% less damage, being a boss pet and all, but besides that she has two AoE abilities, one of which heals her, and then a single target ability. Not too bad if you play your cards right. She is magic, so my team ended up being pretty good against her. Now when she's defeated, Sean Wilkers will come back to tell you about some gates you need to pass through to progress further, but anyone who's ran Stratholme, you know for Revender's Charger, knows that these gates close and a bunch of rats spawn. And guess what? The same thing happens here. I know in the Stratholme dungeon you can disengage your blink or whatever through this portion before the gates close. I wonder if you can do that here. Probably not. Anyways, a bunch of rat and cockroaches spawn for you to defeat. Now this fight was pretty annoying. I did lose a couple times. This wasn't the fight I was talking about before that stumped me, but this fight did stump me a little. And you might be thinking, well, how is this fight hard? All I see are 3 gray pets for you to fight. Well, yeah, but when one gray pet dies, another one takes its place. And some of these pets are undead, which is even more annoying since they get an extra turn. So you essentially keep fighting these gray rats and cockroaches until they're all gone. Now you might be thinking, well, how many gray pets are there? And the answer is, I don't know. Well, yeah, I do. There's 8 of them, I believe. I think there's 8 of them. So I did end up switching my pet team for this to a team that does some AoE damage. Well, Clockwork Gnome doesn't do AoE damage, but the Mechanical Pandaren Dragonling and Weebomination do. One thing I noticed was that if you killed one of the back pets with AoE, that pet slot stayed dead. The reason that's important is because a lot of the AoE abilities will split damage amongst the enemy team, so if one of the back pet slots becomes permanently dead, then your AoE damage will do more to the 2 active pets. Now when you finish up there, you face this Risen Guard Undead battle pet, a pretty standard fight with 3 blue pets, an Undead, a Magic pet, and a Dragonkin. Now once you finish up there, there is this optional fight. It's not required to complete the pet battle dungeon, but it is by this battle pet trainer named Phraziabi. Now this guy has actually been in the game since patch 1.11 as an undead elite in Stratholme. You can also find the human version of him in the Calling of Stratholme dungeon. And he's also a reference to Alex Phraziabi, who is, or was, the creative director for WoW. Anyways, this guy's hard. He has 3 boss pets, so they take 50% less damage. And I was at this for a good bit. I kept trying and trying and trying with different teams. Nothing worked, so I moved on. I'm not sure what happens exactly if you beat him, but anyways, this next boss you do have to kill is Nefarious Terry. So not only does he take 50% less damage, but he has a dark magic looming within. That's what this buff says. So essentially, he starts off putting this necrotic bomb on you, which will deal 240 undead damage to all your pets after 3 turns and heal the boss for 50% of that damage dealt. Then he gets a 99 round buff that sucks all healing on the field up. So don't use any heals while fighting him. And that's a fight. Sean Wilkers comes back and tells you to take control of the Sludge Belcher to finish the dungeon. So you do just that. You take control of the Sludge Belcher and you take out all the enemies around by grappling them or belching on them or whatever. Then finally you'll enter the Slaughterhouse, as it's called. You can already see the shadowy figure, which is at the end of the pet battle dungeon. These shadowy figures should just make their own pet battle dungeon at this point, but as the shadowy figure chills in the corner, you do have 2 pets you have to face. One of them being Tommy the Cruel. It's a blue quality pet that takes 50% less damage, but he has no back pets, so it's easy. Then there's Huncher, who has the old school undead portrait, which I thought was pretty cool, and yeah, he's pretty straightforward. Just take him out. Then you get incapacitated from a different shadowy figure, so there's actually 2 of them, a gnome and a blood elf. So if I remember right, there's been a Tauren shadowy figure from Wailing Caverns, an orc one from Deadmines, a night elf one from Gnomeregan, and a gnome and blood elf from Stratholme. It's like a bootleg Avengers or something. Anyways, you fight a horse named Blackmane. It's not Revendeur's Charger, it's Blackmane. So he's pretty easy. Probably the easiest end boss fight of all the pet battle dungeons. He takes 50% less damage, like all boss pets, and has this Stampede-like ability, except it doesn't make you take more damage, and then this other ability. That was weak against my pet since it's flying. And yeah, after you take him out, he just revives to full health, into an undead horse. So still not the same model as Revendeur's Charger, but it's close. Close enough at least. And he's treated as an undead pet with enhanced abilities. He did take out Icky, I'll give him that, but I was able to get him pretty easily with my Zandalari Kneebiter. And there you have it, the Stratholme Pet Battle Dungeon. Sean Wilkers comes back and tells you that Stratholme is clear of the undead menace, and you can leave. Now for the rewards. So you get a currency for completing the pet battle dungeon on challenge mode each week, and with that skull currency, you can purchase an unopened Stratholme supply crate, which will just have some pet bandages, and it can include some leveling stones. Then there's a what looks like spider named Ziggy for 1 of those currencies, a Crypt Fiend for 2, Contained Banshee Wall for 3, and a Smelly Cleaver for 3 as well. And that Smelly Cleaver gives you a gruesome Belcher pet. So there you have it, the Stratholme Pet Battle Dungeon. I decided to walk into the actual dungeon to see if I can get Revendeur's Charger. It won't matter anyway since I'm on the PTR, and spoiler alert, I didn't get it. Thank God. If I did, I would have been livid. I would have been very mad. But there you have it, guys, the Pet Battle Dungeon. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Having a Stratholme port now will be pretty useful. Or maybe if I want to lose my mind in Stratholme trying to get Revendeur's Charger. I gave up some time ago, but I really need to revisit it. It's not like other raid and dungeon mounts where you can only do it once a day or once a week. You can do it as many times as you want. Well, 10 times within the hour because of the instance lock thing. But anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, then feel free to leave a like on it. You can sub to the channel for more videos like this, and I will see you guys in the next video.